Hey everybody, Mag Monster here, back with Marvel Heroes, and I got Daredevil back on the board, and I learned a little bit more about him. So I did another build for him. I like it much better. It's more my style, anyways. Much easier to control the abilities. And I'm calling it the Devil Reborn because it basically is what's going on here. And after playing around and looking at a few things and how it works, I figured out one thing about Born Again, and what it does is it does do the restore 235 health at at my rank anyways per combo point spent, which is okay. The restore 1% of your maximum health per second is actually what's multiplied by the combo points spent, and it only lasts 3 seconds no matter how many combo points you spend. So if you spend 5, you actually get 5% of your health back. And being the way I build a character, I mean that's a lot at 22,000 health. That's like somewhere a little bit over 1,000 health per second. That's a lot of health to get back. So that's really making him not tanky, but far from squishy anyways. He can definitely sustain some damage and get out of trouble real quick. Making him far more capable using that finisher than ever imagined, for me at least to begin with. So learning how that worked, I definitely changed my build around. And what I did was I stuck with the nunchuck beatdown, and I'm sticking with spinning hook kick, so we're maxing out that one. And I'm switching over to rebounding club. Even though it has a 2-second cooldown, by the time it comes back to you, it's usually coming off cooldown anyways. And that's actually perfect. It's keeping spirit spending to a minimal. You don't even have to worry about spirit in this build. I really like not having to worry about spirit, just like the other build. It didn't have to worry about spirit either. But this is doing a phenomenal job of clearing out trash. A lot of trash, and it's still useful on the boss because at least it puts a dot up. And what I found is with the attack speed of Nunchuck Beatdown, the cooldown of rebounding clubs is usually up by the time I'm at 5 points of my max combo points. So I'm hitting rebounding club, Born Again, and the spinning hook kick all at the same time. Makes that very easy. You get into a little rhythm, you learn that rhythm, and you just keep nailing that down. Great for bosses. A little not the greatest on trash, but not terrible on trash. So we got those 3 maxed out. Obviously we got to max out Born Again because we want that 5% of your maximum health for 3 seconds. We want to maximize on that. And it synergizes my build playstyle anyways. And we're still going to maximize Devil's Due because every a little bit less than 2 seconds we're shedding off 2 seconds off the cooldown. So we're getting this out pretty quick, and we're maximizing on the signature, getting some extra damage out there, and that's a nice AoE. That'll help kill off some trash. That'll help us out greatly. And then we're finally maximizing radar sense. This is giving us survivability, sustainability, giving us that extra 10% damage reduction for 8 seconds, coupled with all the extra health coming in from Born Again. Awesome synergy. With 1 point, we got 1 point in Relentless Justice just to get that extra defense, extra attack speed, and the damage negated again. Oh, I'm sorry, we're getting vulnerability on radar sense. Got ahead of myself. I really want the 10% negated from this. That's why we got 1 point in it. We only need 1 point whenever we use a movement power, so that's awesome. And, well, this is no longer attack movement, but we got our action roll, so we can roll, and that's giving us movement speed anyways. And so if we're ever in trouble, like we always are against bosses anyways, we're always moving, we're going to get that damage negation. And then we're putting in 1 point in the Devils of Hell's Kitchen for the extra damage rating, the critical rating, and critical damage rating. And I got it something that gives me a level 20. That's what's going on there. At one point in the action roll, we need that movement ability to get the damage negation for 10 seconds. And with our medallion, we're going to actually increase that as well, because obviously I'm talking dooms. So going into our build choices here, it's basically the same layout, except I got lucky and found a Satan's Claw. Oh yeah, and look at the Satan's Claw. 666 damage rating with melee powers. How awesome of a Satan's Claw is that? I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. We're doing a Doctor's Doom medallion, 24, 25% duration, a 10% chance to cause the attacker counter fear is awesome. As much hit points as possible. You don't have to worry about the spirit roll on this. The damage rating obviously would be nice, so as good as one as you can get. The duration is going to help increase the length of the Born Again, so you don't have to worry about doing it every 3 seconds, because it takes a little under 2 seconds to actually get the combo points in perfectly. So this means that we can actually run around for a couple seconds not hitting something and still have it up. So it gives us a little wiggle room, not a lot. 3-4 seconds isn't that long to have something up, but hopefully it'll work for us. I'm using the advanced kung fu training sequence, the extra hit points, melee damage, and of course the defense is awesome. Pim's growth for the hit points and the damage rating. Advanced super soldier serum, hit points again, really the primary. In this case, the spirit and everything isn't as much, but the attack speed and the hit points and the defense is more important than anything here. And then the advanced crimson crystal of Cyderic, again for the hit points, the physical damage, that goes across everything. And going invulnerable every now and then ain't bad. But again, the hit points, because we're getting 5% of our hit points. That's just crazy. I love that they did that. I use a defensive euro. You could use a physical damage euro. I wouldn't use a melee one. The physical damage will buff the rebounding club. The melee will only do the melee attacks. But I did Bone Breaker for the +1 strength. That's giving me 5% damage right there. A little bit of attack speed and 200 to the melee powers. And it's not too terrible on the runes to get. Pretty easy. At least until you can get a higher powered rune. That works for me. I went with Excalibur. I think it's pretty awesome. Even though it's only the melee damage, that 50 life on hit's going to pay off in the end. And the extra defense. It's pretty awesome. Satan's Claw, if you have one, isn't too bad, because that +1 strength is 5% physical damage yet again. And all that melee damage, extra damage, is awesome. And, pretty high chance, 4% chance to electrocute for 6,000 damage isn't too terrible either. +1 to all powers. Rest of this is just kind of standard gear. This is plus hit points. If you have a choice between hit points and hit point regen, go with the hit points, because we got all that covered with Born Again. And your core is going to cover you with some hit points too. Again, hit points here, and it's also giving me Devils of Hell's Kitchen at rank 16, so that's a little added bonus. This is obviously farming gear. And yet again, farming gear, but this is one of those broken pieces I had from the beginning, where it's got 21% special item find at level 27, so I'll save this forever. You just can't get that anymore. For the insignia, obviously 1500 health is what really weighed in, some defense, and actually a 5% chance to confuse an enemy for 3 seconds ain't terrible either. All hit points on the core, on the costume, with a core that has 25% health and spirit on medkit use. Very, very important. In this case, it's got movement speed. Ideally, 2 seconds of invulnerability would be better, and at level 60 would be better. I haven't found any, so I'm kind of stuck with the level 40 core. The level 60 core would probably give me another 1,000 or 2 hit points, and that would be better. So I'll show it in a tournament. And let's see, as usual, we'll do our nice Doc Ock. He's nice and fun to kill. So what's nice with at least Daredevil, you don't have to turn on any buffs. I always blow off my Devil's Due to get it ticking. You can see the club in greens is going to be more than capable of destroying the regular trash. Ideally, you'll pop Devil's Due before you burn Born Again, but you can see I don't really care in this situation. I just get in my rhythm of hitting my 4 buttons. Everyone's going to be invulnerable. There it goes, finally. So you can see it just kind of synergizes together. You just hit 1, 2, 3 while you're hitting. Always be hitting with your basic attack. Never stop. Looks like I got a little server lag going here. And I always try to beat on the highest hit point thing on the screen. That is always best. When you're X defense and it's just like a regular wave attack where you have to kill 100 enemies, I always beat on the blues that go after the students. Those are my priority. And if it's a boss wave, I go after the boss. Try to pick the boss that everybody else is going after. Sometimes that's impossible because they always go after like the exact opposite boss everyone else is going after, so you just pick the one you want. But usually it's best to kill the one that's the most annoying. Ooh, money. Sometimes when you're flooring the basic attack, your abilities won't fire. If that's the case, you just gotta re-hit them. You can see it completely destroyed him. Oh, Pim's Growth. That's definitely worth coming here. This is the one to pick. So that's it. So it works. It's pretty easy. I mean, greens are going to go like that, no problem. Reds aren't going to be a problem. Cosmics are going to require a little bit of intelligence, obviously, because you're going to be melee-centric. But other than that, it's pretty easy. So, hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed. And it's much more synergetic, and I'll talk to you later.